Alright, so now that we've got everything painted up and did a preliminary assembly, this is what the Sazabi ends up looking like. And I went with, I knew I wanted to go with a darker color scheme, and I knew I wanted it to be somewhere in the blue, purplish kind of range, and basically what it ended up being. All these colors are mixed. None of them came straight out of a bottle. I started off with the dark blue, which really ends up like, it's, I can't even remember. In fact, let me go get the paint bottles. Okay, so for the dark color, as you can see here on the sides of the torso, top of the shoulder, I started off with this Mr. Color 322 Phthalo Blue. I love this color. It's a really good dark blue for Gundams that are darker than the normal Gundam blue, like Wing Gundam or Shining Gundam or Gundam Ground type. So I started out with a combination of that and then just regular Mr. Color purple. I think I threw in a little bit of this Gaia Notes Nazca Million Blue and just a smidge of black. I threw a little bit of black in there to darken it, and that's how I got this darker shade of blue here. You really can't see much purple in it. It's there, but it's definitely more blue than purple. And after I got all those parts painted, I just took that exact same paint that I already had and added a little bit of this Gundam color. It's called MS Purple. It's basically Dom Purple. Added a little bit of that to it to lighten it up a bit, and got this medium purplish bluish color right here. It's definitely starting to lean more towards the purple here. As you can see, there it is on the leg. And then got all that sprayed on, and then after I took that exact same color again and added a little bit of this Hobby Japan. It's like some kind of limited edition. It was a little box set of 4 different colors of paint. It's a really grayed out blue. It's a very, very grayish blue. Added some of that to the paint mixture that I already had and got this color that I use for the lightest shade on the shoulders and the chest, forehead, a couple other places as well. And then for the white parts, I actually got 2 different shades of white. For like the biceps and the forearms, that's basically Mr. Color light gray. I think it's like number 92 or something. and on the feet as well, and the thighs. You can't really see the thighs because the side skirt armor is so big, but they're white as well. And then for the cables around the waist and the propellant tanks and inside all of the thrusters, I just use straight up white. That's not any kind of special color, that's just regular old white. The black parts are just straight up black, and then I highlighted with some of this phthalo blue to give it, so it's not just pure black, it's got that little bit of a bluish hint to it. And then the yellow is just, where'd it go? I'll get it up here somewhere. There we go. It's also Gaia Notes. It's this, like, they did a series of like virtual on paints. It's a really nice orange yellow. I've used this on several Gundam kits in the past. I really, really like it. And I use that on the funnels and the beam spray thingy on his stomach. And then on the weapons as well. I got some yellow on the shot rifle and the long rifle, even though you can barely see it. And then the little stripe on the shield. So, changed up the color of this thing, because originally it was all gray, and that just looked really boring to me. So I wanted to make it kind of, how on the original Sazabi, his beam sword was red and black, so I did purple and gunmetal. Thought that turned out pretty good. So, really, the colors on everything have been changed. I think the long rifle and shot rifle have changed the least. I just changed the red parts to yellow. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I think I like the way that the white and the yellow pops out. I didn't want to do the whole thing all in cool colors. I wanted there to be a pop of some bright colors, so that's why I wanted to make sure to throw in that white and yellow. I was thinking about doing all yellow, like keeping the thruster insides yellow and doing the little belt around the waist yellow. But then I thought that would look too much like camphor, and so that's when I decided to use white instead. And I decided to tint the color scheme more towards purple than just straight blue, because I definitely didn't want it to look like just a camphor colored Sazabi. Ooh, also, let's see if I can get this to show up. Come on, camera, work with me. There we go. There's the yellow parts for the visor and the forehead camera. I don't know, I just really like the way that looks when you do the whole visor in colored clear. Kind of like on the Pale Rider. Like, of course, I almost did that red to give it more of a Pale Rider vibe, but I thought yellow would suit this overall color scheme better. So, anyway, that is it for the paint job. Now I just gotta get this guy panel lined and decaled and top coated. Alright, so panel line time. Just doing a pin wash on this kit. Don't want to, it's going to be a clean paint job, so I don't want to get this thing too awfully dirty looking. So just doing a pin wash with my Mr. Weathering color. And for those of you who've seen me do these work in progress videos, you're no stranger to this. And just wipe that down with a paper towel. Might have to do a couple passes on this to make it show up, because I don't know, this this black Mr. Weathering color seems to be a bit thinner than the brown and the sand color, so it doesn't show up quite as well. I may have to just go in afterwards with a real touch marker and darken some of these panel lines, because yeah, but that's okay. We'll use all the tools at our disposal. It's stupid to just rely on one single technique. Like, yeah, I prefer doing a panel wash with an oil-based paint like Mr. Weather and Color, but I do have Gundam markers just for situations when you may need them. Okay, I'm in the middle of doing the decals, and I'm actually winding down on these, getting pretty close to being done. About to do the big Neo-Zeon insignia on the shield. And the decals have actually been surprisingly pleasant. Like, there's a lot of them, because, I mean, it's a Ver Ka kit, so obviously there's a lot of decals. But they've been pretty well organized on the decal sheet. A lot of times, like, the decals will be all over the place. But this time around, like, they've had all the torso decals together and all the arm decals together and all the leg decals together for the most part. And it's been pretty well organized on the decal sheet, which has helped. Definitely makes the process go by a bit quicker. So this is actually the largest decal on the kit. But it's going on pretty well. And I don't anticipate any problems with the other decals after this one. Just get some of these bubbles out. Smooth out some of these wrinkles. And it'll be good to go. And I'm glad that it's a very, very similar yellow to this yellow I used for the stripe down here. I know on my Master Grade Sazabi 1.0 I did back in like 2010, the decal was a really pale yellow, and then I had this bright orange yellow stripe down there, and it was kind of off-putting, but I'm glad that that's not so much the case this time around. There's a little bit of difference in the two yellows, but not a whole lot of difference. Alright, and after all of that painting and top coating and decaling and whatnot, the Sazabi Ver Ka is finally finished, and there's actually been a little bit of a time gap, I admit, between me doing the decals and then actually, and the top coat, and then recording this video. This guy's actually been complete for a couple weeks now, and I'm just now getting around to recording this segment of the video because I'm super busy with art stuff and also because I'm kind of lazy. Anyway, the kit is done. I think it turned out pretty snazzy. Really, my main goal in this whole project was to just make a Sazabi that looks different from everybody else's, because I didn't want to just do a red Sazabi. And I've seen a couple Sazabi Ver Kas anyway, that have kind of a similar color scheme to this, but I think that mine's the only one I've seen that's got kind of this purplish, bluish color, and then with the yellow and white accents. So, at least by a strict definition, I have a pretty unique Sazabi Ver Ka. So, do a little zoom in. Everything looks really good. No silvering on the decals. I was very happy to see. A little bit of dust right there, but the top coat, I used a semi-gloss top coat. Everything came out looking great. The clear yellow parts for the forehead camera and the visor look really, really good. And just overall pretty darn happy with it. I like how it turned out. So this was not a commission, but it was a kit that I posted up for sale, which I tend to do pretty often. And someone's already claimed this, so this guy will be going to a new home very, very soon. And will be sitting on someone's shelf in the near future. So that about does it for this video and this project, and with that, I will see you guys next time.